All right, welcome to the Inside of the Wave podcast. Perry here with the famous Jimmy. Jimmy has been a staple in the Utopia community for how long? You been training now for, Jimmy?
How many years? Since 2012.
So that's 10, 13, coming up on 14 years.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
14 years. How old were you when you started?
28.
Dude.
I'm rounding 43 now.
A lifetime ago.
It is.
So Jimmy then versus now. We'll get into that.
I should ask you that.
What?
The difference between me then and me now.
I mean, not a ton, but some major differences. What got you interested in jiu-jitsu? I will say this. You did not strike me as a jiu-jitsu-y person when you originally came in. You were a big MMA fan, though, right?
Yeah. What's funny, you could probably guess who, being from a Hawaiian background, me and my brothers loved BJ Penn growing up, and he was from Hilo, which is where our grandpa was from. I honestly thought it was going to be just another hobby I picked up for like a few months, and then most of the time they kind of fade out.
Yeah.
It was a round of just lucky checks that lined up. Me moving back to Cedarburg with my brothers, and then it was you guys had one sign above your door, and it was a green neon.
It's in my basement.
Is it?
Yeah.
I always wondered.
It's a super awkward sign because it says jiu-jitsu, judo, and kids.
Oh, wait, is that the neon sign?
Yeah, the neon sign.
Yeah. I just remember seeing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
maybe that was the only.
Well, it says jiu-jitsu big, and then it says judo and kids underneath it, and it's super awkward because it's not like, it doesn't say kids martial arts. It just says kids.
We have kids here.
Yeah, we have.
But I drove by that.
Yeah.
I would go to the freeway, and I drove by it a bunch of times. And I remember I signed up at Rufus Sport for like a 2-month cash thing. In the early 2000s, I remember my first gi class was Red's first gi class teaching. They didn't have gi before that. So it might have been
early 2000s.
It might have been like 06, 05, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, because when I started in 2007, John was teaching a little bit at Red still, a little bit at Duke's.
Yep.
But I think Red was teaching at Duke's before that and after that.
I remember that was a real intimidating experience. Everybody there was for MMA.
Oh yeah.
And it was real intimidating. And I remember I stopped going after like a couple months. I was still like into like my addiction and all that stuff. So it was a recipe not to continue a healthy hobby.
Yeah.
And then I remember driving by and I saw that neon sign, and I remember thinking it's a smaller dojo in a smaller town, not knowing that it was attached to like this big Nutriground family.
Which wasn't even that big. It was just like, it was one other school.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as big. Yeah. And but I remember thinking like, this is going to be a lot less intimidating. I have the guts to walk in here and sign up.
Yeah.
And I remember making the choice. I was like, I was starting to get bored. I was like, I should sign up at this place. And then I remember going there in the morning, and you guys were closed. And the website kept sending me to John's website. And I'm like, it's not Milwaukee. It's got to be Grafton. Yeah. I didn't know there was another link on there. And then I went back at like 3 p.m. I'm like, they got to be open. Still closed. And then I was actually upset. I was like, I'm really signing up now. I think I went back one more time, and Greg was the only guy there. And I remember meeting him and thinking like, oh crap, he is intimidating. You know, it wasn't like the lack of intimidation that I thought it would be. And you walked in shortly after, but it was kind of like the perfect recipe.
Greg's only intimidating because he's so confident.
Yeah. He stares you right in your eyes.
He's not like a mean intimidating or like, this guy's going to kill me. It's just like the confidence that this guy ensues.
He has a confidence the way law enforcement kind of does sometimes. Yeah. And he had the mustache and all that too. And I remember thinking this guy seems like he's like a sheriff or something like that. But then I met you. I remember Fuji was sitting in the back too. There were some guys closer to my age. And it was just like a bunch
close to your age. How old are you? Right now.
42. But they were like younger guys.
Bro, we're
too.
4 years apart.
Yeah.
Fuji's way older than you.
He didn't seem that way though.
That's because he's
Yeah.
doesn't age.
No, he doesn't. But it was a bunch of things that lined up perfectly, and that's what just so happened to get me into it. And our dojo back then was a lot more of like a boys' club.
Yeah.
Everyone.
It was a legit jiu-jitsu club,
Yeah.
right? Like it was very much not it was like just a social experiment.
Yeah. It worked out though.
Yeah. So long story short, right? Like it sounds like MMA got you interested. You dabbled a little bit. You didn't necessarily jive with the atmosphere you were in, so you tried a new place, and it just happened that you moved up to Cedarburg, and we were close by.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Did you have any background in sports? You went to Brown Deer High School, right?
Yeah, I just played nothing combat. Well, I did taekwondo as like a little kid. I think most, like so many other people. But I mean, I played
Are you
baseball.
black belt?
What's that?
You black belt?
No. I think I was a green belt.
I don't know what that
Something
means.
like that.
Is that good?
And it's like a good blue belt maybe. Like
Okay.
You got the basics in.
Okay, cool.
I played baseball. I dropped out of football in high school. I was kind of a lazy kid. Disappointed my dad a lot.
What did you do between high school and then starting jiu-jitsu when you were late 20s?
I
know you did a lot of manual labor, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh yeah,
you were roofing for a long time, like, and that I am impressed by the guys that like have jobs where they need to bust their ass all day, and then they come to a gym and bust their ass for like another hour or two training. It's crazy.
Yeah, because of roofing, there is a lot of like drinking in the harder jobs.
Yeah.
Like if you're a mason, if you're a roofer, those guys do tend to, I don't know, party hard. But that's a lot what it was. It was a lot of, you have a lot of cash on you too. You're doing a lot of side jobs. And it was a lot of just like, I worked at a foundry before roofing, and then I found roofing that paid real good.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why I really thought like I should sign up for this jiu-jitsu, because I had been doing like a lot of drinking. I still smoke cigs.
Yeah.
And I was wasting a lot of time, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember you did smoke cigs.
Yeah, I would come in. I was the stinky guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would just remember like purposely just trying to cook you and be like,
A lot of
how
people did.
those lungs feeling, buddy?
Yeah, I wasted a lot of time though. Like jiu-jitsu has been the one steady, consistent thing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it kind of became part of my identity, because it does kind of keep me from going back to all that, especially at an older age. It's only going to get worse as you go.
Yeah. And I know, so like what I remember of you when you first started, we were talking about it the other night at class, cash only enterprise.
Yeah.
Jimmy signs up at the gym and I'm like, okay, here's the form to sign up. You know, it's got the spot to either fill out your checking account or credit card. And Jimmy's like, I don't have either. And I was like, we need to have one on file because we just don't chase people down for cash all the time. And he's like, I'll get one, but can I still sign up? I'm like, sure, man. And you end up getting a checking account just so you can put your information down.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, you know, why show all the government all that money that you're making when you don't have to?
Yeah. For a
Don't
long
audit
time,
me.
a long time in roofing, I would just get envelopes of hundreds for a paycheck.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, I already knew I was living check to check too. So it's like, what's the point of putting this in there if I'm just going to take it all out?
Slide it under the
by
bed.
the next envelope. Yeah. And so that's just the way it went. I had a phone bill. I paid my rent in cash.
Yeah. How'd you pay your phone
or like
bill?
money order.
Yeah.
And that was it. It just like, I got used to that. So
What's
that's
a money order?
money order is, you can go to it's like a cashier's check
Oh yeah.
from the hood though. Check cashing place.
It's a Brown Deer thing.
Yeah.
Man. And I know, like, you know, you've had a lot of struggles, right? With you mentioned addiction at the beginning of things, right?
I think that has a lot to do with not having that, like a bank account.
Yeah.
When you're in that kind of life, you do stay right where you were. So even though I was coming out of it at like 27, I was still like a 20-year-old
Yeah.
because it just stops you from progressing.
Yeah.
So I never got a chance to go out to the bars and get kind of dumb with my friends.
Yeah.
That all happened later. Everyone was already done with that.
By the time you got started.
And I was fresh into it.
And I wouldn't say like, when we first started the gym, it was still a big drinking culture in like combat sports and MMA. And so, we would definitely go out and party a lot too. Right. So it didn't help at first necessarily. Like, I think it maybe makes you smarter. Like, okay, I can't drink all of the time because I need to train. But after we're done training, we would still go to like, the Hutch on a Friday, which is the bar like 2 doors down from the gym. But eventually you just went stone cold sober.
Yeah. Yeah. OWI number 2 will do that to you. It really was like I foresaw my future. When I went through the second one, I really didn't change much habits. And then I really just had this moment where it's like, I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to end up going away for a minute.
Yeah.
If I don't, and then if I even have a little bit, I knew that window would be even cracked.
It's hard. It's like,
I could not have that window be cracked.
You get a speeding ticket. You're like, I'm never going to speed again.
Yeah. And it
right?
fades.
3 weeks later,
you're speeding.
Speeding again.
That's
right?
exactly what happened. Yeah.
Like, man, it's hard, right? You need more than just like a wake up call. Because a wake up call is going to only wake you up it's like a cup of coffee, right? You're going to get tired after it.
Yep.
But super cool story, and small world. And this kind of just shows what the jiu-jitsu community is. The person that helped you, the lawyer that helped you, was that on your second one?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Is now a member.
Yeah, he's a good
at the academy. He's had his daughter in our program, and now you share the mat with him.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where jiu-jitsu brings together people from like the most different parts of life.
Yep.
Onto a common space.
Yeah, for sure does. It was going through all that legal stuff too, but it was within months you came to me. It was within 6 months for sure, where you were like, I want you to run a teens program.
Oh yeah.
And it was like little things kept adding on to where it's like, all right, well, I quit for this long. I should just cut this out because things kept happening.
Yeah.
And I met my wife a few years down the road, but none of that would have, it was
Jimmy
like,
got a steady lady.
Buying a house. Like,
man, I've seen Jimmy grow up. While I was growing up, it was like Jimmy got a checkbook. Jimmy got a house.
What a big accomplishment.
Jimmy got a wife. Jimmy now is like flipping houses and has an Airbnb rental.
Yeah, adulting.
Man. Jimmy has a W-2.
Yeah.
But like that's, part of jiu-jitsu, right? And part of your black belt now, right? Part of getting your black belt is all the, not just jiu-jitsu growth as time goes on, but all that personal growth as well. Like you'll see some people that over 10 years don't grow, they digress.
I think the belt ranks, at my age, it was like a perfect time where things were getting better and happening. The belt growth almost lined up perfectly with like my life growth.
Life stages, yeah.
Yeah. Like purple belt, I was really starting to take it more seriously. I was starting to take life more seriously. And then brown belt, your levels of commitment go up on the mat and off the mat. And then
Jimmy gets engaged and you got married as a brown belt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also becomes part of your identity too.
Yeah.
And you don't want to screw up what you have on the mat outside of the mat too in your real life.
Yeah. And I know you've had a lot of close friends that do jiu-jitsu with you that you've either brought into jiu-jitsu or you met doing jiu-jitsu and then they've left the jiu-jitsu scene. How do you handle that? Because I mean, that's something that's also inevitable as time goes on, right? And I think I see a lot of people that they love jiu-jitsu, but they sometimes stop doing it because their friends stop doing it, right? Like their teammates, their mat mates. How have you dealt with that attrition of friends on the mat over the years?
Like another analogy to life outside of the mat, it lines up really well. Like people are going to come in your life and nothing bad necessarily needs to happen, but things kind of fade
Yeah.
and you still know them the way you knew them. You're just not as, you don't share that one thing together anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's very analogous to that. It's sad and you wish they were there, but they've moved on the same way I moved on from
Yeah.
other things. And, it's just figuring out that that's just kind of part of life the older you get. So that people will come and go. It doesn't mean, it's not there anymore. It's just not the whole picture together anymore. I think kids have a big impact on that too. People start
like having kids.
Yeah, for sure. My friends that most of them I think that have faded out, either got into something else that they really, really loved and enjoyed, and they doubled down on that, or they just family life, which they had to double down on too, which is priority clearly.
Yeah. I agree. Or you get people that like they move, or some of them just they just don't like jiu-jitsu anymore. It's not their thing, which is okay. How many times have you wanted to quit? Like truly thought about quitting? Not like hey, I had a shitty training session, I'm not doing this ever again, but like I feel like I should probably just stop doing jiu-jitsu.
I don't think ever.
Are you just gonna do it forever? You just got that feeling like this is part of me?
Yeah, my fantasy in my head, it's kind of my retirement goal.
Tell me all your fantasies.
This will lead into one of my questions for you.
How do I keep my butt so hairless?
Yeah, that too.
That's weird.
Yeah, what's the
tell
process?
a story on that one.
No, my fantasy.
Jeremy's like, what?
Incredibly smooth. My fantasy is to be an old guy. I see these like older, all grayed out gentlemen that are professors, and they may not roll, but they're.
You got a single gray hair on that head yet?
I have down here. I do.
Okay.
I have a lot. Too many to pluck now.
All right, so you're gonna be this gray haired.
I would love to own like a kids program, like in some little town that has nothing. Like one of our Airbnbs, our cabin is in Friendship in Adams County. I think the population is like under 800 people.
Yeah. I didn't even know Adams was a county.
Yeah, it's up there. It's a little bit past the Dells.
Okay.
But that's kind of a little town like that, owning a little place and just teaching for fun. And I don't think I've ever had a moment where I'm like, I don't know if this is really for me anymore. I have moments where I'm like telling myself I suck still. But I don't know if that's ever pushed me to the point where I'm like, I don't know if this is for me.
Yeah, but man, that's the best part about jiu-jitsu, in my opinion, is like being excited for the days where you're like, I suck. Because then you're like, I still have so much to learn, right? If you're able to be the person that can pivot that thought. Dude, and I was just talking to one of the dads at the academy. I still have days where I feel like I'm the nail. Right.
Oh yeah.
I also have days where I feel like my jiu-jitsu is just broken. Like nothing is working. I'm like, what happened today? And I can train with all white belts. I'm like, my shit is broken.
Yeah. Yeah. You tell yourself in your head, I'm really going to try this now. And it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's something I'm kind of dealing with being a newer black belt too, is I had this idea that up until maybe brown belt, a black belt was this like wizard that has a magical power.
Yeah.
Where they're only losing if they want to lose.
Yeah.
And all this. And then when you get there, you're like, oh, these guys are still students too. And along with that, being somebody in their 40s now, where you do have to keep applying more and more effort to just stay where you're at. It's not even getting better anymore. It's like, if I want to stay where I'm at, I have to put in more effort every day.
Yeah.
Which is something you have to figure out too, and you have to deal with.
But it keeps you young.
Yeah,
Look at all, dude. How many people do you look back at like from high school and you see pictures of them today and you're like,
Oh man,
bro, we're the same age.
yeah. Alcohol and tobacco ages you very, very
But like,
quickly.
think about how much alcohol and tobacco you had.
Yeah.
Right. You just had something else offsetting it. And now you have, because you don't have it right now, it's just pulling you into the fountain of youth.
Yeah. Back to your more natural state.
And those Hawaiian jeans you got.
Oh, I wish. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm trying to yet figure that all out. Like the right balance.
Yeah. So back to just because I don't want it to be too awkward about my hairless ass. We went on a trip to the DC with like 5 or 6 of us staying in one hotel room because that's all we could afford back then. DC to train with Ryan Hall. Probably one of the coolest jiu-jitsu and most humbling jiu-jitsu experiences I had when I was a purple belt maybe.
Yeah,
Or you guys blue belts.
Yeah. I think you guys might have been brown belts.
I think I was a brown belt.
Yeah, I think you and Luke were brown belts.
Yeah, because I remember Ryan just destroying me in no-gi on the first night, and he's like, "What rank are you?" And I was like, oh,
I have to tell him the truth.
I'm a brown belt. But I don't feel like I did any jiu-jitsu. I legit did 0 techniques to him. There's a few people that I've done 0 techniques to in a row. Ryan Hall, Andre Galvao, Lovato. Where I literally did nothing. I didn't even break their posture. I didn't make them take one step that they didn't mean to make. And I'm not saying like I didn't hit like a sweep on them. I hit nothing on them.
He had no stripe white belts. In Milwaukee, I had just gotten my blue belt, and I felt I had a blue belt, like the high that you get from getting your blue belt. I'm finally a blue belt, and I felt like a blue belt here. And then going there, he had. Well, I don't know if they even did stripes at that gym. Did they?
No, I don't think so.
He had some white belts though that had very crisp new white belts. That I was in the same. They were just kind of like cutting right through me.
It's crazy.
Yeah, his beginner. I honestly don't think I was ready to take in as much as I could have if I was a little bit more. Had more time in jiu-jitsu. There was so much stuff that went right over my head that I wasn't ready for.
Yeah.
And that was his beginner class.
Well, anyways, we were getting ready for a class one day or whatever, getting dressed in the morning. And when you have like 6 guys in a 2-bedroom hotel room, everyone just does it in the same room. I was probably being contrasted with
everyone else
who was there. Like
Evan and Luke and Benson.
Luke and Benson. And we all just change and, modesty a little bit. You turn away so people only see your backside and not your front side. And apparently I had the most hairless ass out of everyone. And Jimmy caught Jimmy off guard.
It was. Like you said, though, I think it was in contrast, though.
Yeah. So
we had 3 of the hairiest individuals.
That's been a running joke for the last decade, at least.
Yeah, boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Man.
What was your maintenance for that? What was your daily routine
to keep my ass hairless?
Yeah,
it's probably the jiu-jitsu butt scooting, right? Like, that's it. I probably still don't have hair on my ass.
Oh, you're a lucky guy.
Not to get gruesome, but like between the cheeks, yeah. But I don't think like on my outer ass I have like.
How old are you?
I definitely can't grab a handful of it.
How old are you, Perry?
38.
Yeah, just wait a little bit.
once
you hit a few
and I don't have like back hair either.
That's incredible.
I mean, I have like a little like patches.
I didn't until I hit around 40, and then things just start happening.
I think I'm just balding. That's the gift that God gave me. He's like, no hair on your head, but also no hair anywhere else.
Here's your curse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm there too. Plateaus.
In your tenure of jiu-jitsu, you're bound to have a few hundred of them. right?
Most of the year.
You know, I feel like a lot of times those plateaus cause make it or break it moments in jiu-jitsu. How do you push past those? How do you handle them?
Really, just hearing guys who have been in it the longest saying just show up,
Yeah.
knowing that everyone they luckily we are in a community that talks about plateaus a lot.
Yeah.
Um on random videos, you'll hear it more than any other sport, I think, or any other kind of hobby talking about plateaus. Because they are so frequent.
And
And
they're super clear in an individual sport,
oh yeah.
right? Like hard to tell if you're a football lineman if you are personally plateauing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very clear when you're the hammer and the nail.
Yep.
Because you just feel like the nail for 3 weeks. Or you
Oh
feel like
God, if you're lucky.
you feel like a screwdriver that's stripped, right? Like just you go for it, just no torque, nothing.
It really, yeah, for me, it really was just showing up and just, it sounds kind of weird going through the motions.
How do you develop the discipline to just show up when every roll is getting smashed when you're being plateaued, when you're in a plateau? Because I think that's another thing, like just showing up when you're, when you know you'll have a chance at doing well, but like, man, you know, there's times in jiu-jitsu where like you're talking like weeks
Yeah.
of just being like, oh, I'm not getting better.
I'm trying to remember what it was like earlier on as like a white or blue belt, where there's not as big of a group under you that you know you can kind of work out some things with.
Yeah, you just kind of like, you know, when you're a brown belt on a plateau, it's like, hey, purple belts, I'm not going to train with you for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to go train with the white belts.
I'm going to avoid this person, and just, yeah.
I mean, part of it too, I think, is you were an instructor for a long time, right? You were teaching teens, you had your own gym. And when you're teaching and you have your own gym, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like that is discipline baked in because that makes you go to class. And I think that helps a lot. But yeah, what'd you do when you weren't teaching? It's hard to remember, right?
I'm trying to remember. I know it was a lot of, and you know what? When we talked a second about people that have faded from doing jujitsu and that, for the first like 2 or 3 years though, I had Jesse Fisher.
Yeah.
And he lived with me for a while. So a lot of, I do remember, I don't know if I would still have been in jujitsu if it hadn't been for a lot of times where he goes, like, Jimbo, I'm going to drive. You don't even have to drive.
Yeah.
Grab your bag.
Accountability, buddy, man.
Yeah. And he'd be like, let's just go. And I'm like, we just got done roofing. It's the middle of July or August. I'm tired, man.
I just baked in a 95-degree pure sun for 8 hours straight.
Yeah. Him getting me to come when I didn't want to go to class definitely was a big part of it. I think having it be a part of your identity, also helps you go like, hey, like this is part of who you are. You need to at least go.
Yeah.
And once you put on the gi, it's like coming here to work out. Once you get going, you're happy you did it. You have to get past that. Like you have to go through the motions and eventually things will just kind of pick back up and click on, hopefully.
Yeah. And speaking for that, like something I never thought of that, you know, sometimes I go to jiu-jitsu to get better at jiu-jitsu. Sometimes I go to jiu-jitsu just to hang out with my friends.
That's a big part of it too.
Right. It's like,
that's a huge part of it.
I don't have to go to necessarily get better at jiu-jitsu. I just want to go to see my people.
Yeah. Yeah. Training with a bunch of people you enjoy being around. It's funny. A lot of times, when I am kind of in a slump, I'll be driving to class and I'm thinking like, I'm really going to go after people tonight. I need to like pick this back up and get over this mental thing. And then when I walk in the dojo though, I see like smiles and that fades real quick though. Like I need to be aggressive tonight, but that has to do with being around everyone you enjoy being around.
I agree.
You know, and there's a lot more of those than not.
Yeah, man. And you like jiu-jitsu so much. We didn't talk about your stint as a gym owner.
Yeah, it was interesting.
What got you interested in opening up a gym location?
You know, like I said, that's kind of like my fantasy for retirement is having a little thing. And I always, enjoyed our atmosphere, and I always kind of thought having a team of my own would be
Yeah, and you
pretty.
wanted something like in the Brown Deer area, right? Like you
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
bring jiu-jitsu back like home for you.
yeah. I think if we might have had our own location, um, there's a pretty good chance I probably would have held on to it.
Yeah, it was hard. You're sharing space, right? Anytime you're sharing space,
Yeah,
especially when the other person owns it,
and
right?
he's an old school guy that loved
Yeah,
things the way he, and which, that he had that he's had that place for like 40 years, I
yeah.
think. And he's an old school guy who wanted it his way. And
You essentially, so for the listeners, right? You opened up a jiu-jitsu school out of a judo club,
yeah,
and a judo club that's been in the community for, like you said, 40 years,
yeah,
right? Like if someone in the Milwaukee area says I do judo, you're one of three places. Either you train with me, you train with Norm, you train at Adrian's, right? Or Wahadachi. Um, so he's like been around for
yeah,
forever.
yeah. It's something I definitely want to get back to too at some point. Now that I got a little taste of it too,
Yeah.
I kind of know what to expect a little bit more. I've studied you a lot and like the growth from where we were, and just having like a real casual kind of
Yeah.
attitude about everything. And yeah, people come and they go. You don't try and really stop anyone from or finding out why they're leaving. It's just like, well, that's just the way it is. And actually striving to like run a real business inside of a place that has a culture where it's also buddy buddy,
Yeah.
and we're kind of working hard and playing hard at the same time.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I do try to stop people from quitting,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
but like in a coach sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Any kid that quits our program, like one of the first, well, one, we want to know why they're quitting, but an important thing to us is that they're doing something else instead, right? Like, hey, you want to quit jiu-jitsu because you want to pursue basketball because you really like it, or you want to try something else, then
That's great.
good for you.
Yeah.
Like I did all that shit when I was a kid. Enjoy it. The beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu is like it's one of the few sports that's always there.
Yep.
Like what else can you do as you get older? You can run, bike. My grandma played tennis. Old people can golf. And now like jiu-jitsu.
Yep. Exactly.
You're not playing football. You're not playing baseball. Few people are playing basketball, even though there's like lunch basketball leagues and stuff like that. But like jiu-jitsu is always there.
Yep.
There are a lot of limited time sports that like if you don't play it in high school, and you don't get your time in before high school or college, like you're not playing it ever.
It's harder in team sports to work at your own pace too.
Yeah,
Like you have to keep up. If you're not keeping up, you're just kind of a drag on the rest of the team.
it's true.
Where we have a sport where we can kind of
Move at your own pace as long as you're okay with moving at your own pace.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
I think that's the one thing that jiu-jitsu teaches you to how do you compare your progress to yourself and not everyone else around you? Because I think a challenge, I was just talking to someone about this when I was onboarding one of our new adult members. When you start jiu-jitsu and you're 40 years old, you have to remember that like you're sharing the mat with 19, 20-year-olds, right? And if you get a 19-year-old that starts on day one and a 40-year-old that starts on day one, you can't.
It's different worlds.
It's different, right?
Yeah.
Like they recover faster. They have a little bit more like neuroplasticity in their brains. It's different, right? You as a 40-year-old, you have like the life experience and the dedication and the discipline. So like you might outwork them and out hustle them for sure. But don't think that your biology is going to give you any advantage there.
Yeah.
Right? Your mindset will, but your biology's not.
Yeah, for sure.
Although I still feel like I'm in like the best shape of my life right now.
You work hard at it.
That I also wonder if I had this level of discipline when I was in high school, I think I would be way more successful than what I was.
Yeah. Talking about people who just signed up, that's one of the things I'm still trying to kind of work out as a black belt. I think having the experience like Nate, he'll be a black belt probably before he's 30.
Well, so Nate, to give context, like started with us when he was 6 or 7 with his brother, who's slightly older. Paul, their dad, is a black belt now, right? Nate is off at college. You taught him through his teen years at teens class. But, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Back when we started, like, there weren't kids doing jiu-jitsu. Like, places barely had kids programs.
Yeah.
And now you're to the point where kids programs have been along long enough that
You have
when you're
4-year-olds
19, they might be new at jiu-jitsu, or they might have been training at 10 years.
now. Yeah.
Back in the day when we started, if you're 19 and training, you just started jiu-jitsu or you moved here from Brazil.
Yeah.
Right? Because kids jiu-jitsu wasn't a thing back then. So it's like catching up, and it's really progressing the sport. But yeah, you'll be Wisconsin's going to start seeing some young kid, homegrown black belts soon.
It's going to be crazy. I think their experience is going to be so much different than I or yours.
I mean, your average age of your black belt, and I'm just total guess right now. People right now get their black belts probably when they're like 40, 35, 40.
And it's going
to drive down to like 25.
Yeah, it's going to be completely
in the next 5 or 10 years. You're going to see the percentage of 25-year-old black belts in Wisconsin go. Whew.
Yep. Like I was saying before too, I feel like I have to give more effort just to stay where I am. Whereas if you're 25 and you're a black belt, you have a decade more of still going.
What do they say?
Up,
like males
upwards.
peak, like your male peak performance is like low 30, like 32 or something like that. Like you got another 7 years of peak performance.
Yep. And growth.
It's crazy.
Yep.
What was the most rewarding part about owning a gym versus teaching classes? Because we have another jiu-jitsu buddy that just stepped away from ownership because he's just like, I just want to teach.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure. Talking about those like plateaus and needing to find motivation in yourself to get things done. You don't get time off when you have a dozen people that you know are going to show up on like an average night that are really driven to train. They're new to it, so they're just as excited as you were when you started. And I guess if you're okay with letting people down, it goes right over your head.
Yeah.
But, if you can relate to how much you enjoyed it when you were brand new, it forces you to come, but it does. I did have nights where it became a chore, or no one showed up and there's 10 minutes past the hour and I'm getting ready to lock up, and all of a sudden somebody pulls up.
Yeah.
And it's me and them basically doing a private.
Yeah.
Teaching though was
that's the most rewarding part.
It's extremely rewarding.
I mean, I tell myself every day I'm at the gym, right? And something that drives me as a coach, as a gym owner, is you don't know what everyone else has going on in their life, that not only could this jiu-jitsu class be the best part of their day, like it could also be the most important part of their day. Yep. Most important part about their month, right? I remember like when my grandma passed away, I was like, I was close to my grandma, and I was like, I got to go to jiu-jitsu. And John asked me that day, he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I got to be here today.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a great way of looking at it.
Like, and as a coach, you don't know that. As a training partner, you don't know that, but it's something that you need to remember.
Yep. And that's everybody. Everybody has something
going on,
and you have no idea, but you can almost guarantee it.
And that's why I named Utopia, right? Like I want it to be that place where you could come to, and it can be that part of your day. And I named it that because my wife and I were on our honeymoon in Greece, and I was sitting in Santorini, which is like the big, beautiful like photo place.
Oh, yeah.
I was like looking up over the caldera where there used to be a volcano and stuff. And I was like everyone around me is so happy. Like all the people that live there are so kind and so nice and just like loving the Greek life. I'm like, dude, this is like,
I want to make this.
This is amazing. Like I want people to feel this way. Like when they come to our gym, like you don't have to go to another country and another culture to feel it. Like I want you to feel that with us.
You've done a good job.
try.
Yeah.
Best I can. Man.
I would have a real hard time, being that I never trained anywhere else. I would have a real hard time picking back up somewhere else
It's tough.
out of our atmosphere. And
Every
the
gym is
people.
different.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, every gym is very different.
It's like DNA, right? And you can't just try to recreate a DNA. You know, I think it's, you know, I've been thinking about how do we make the utopia reach bigger, and that's one of my things. I'm like, well, if we do make it bigger, how do we keep what we have and extend that?
Yep.
I don't know. It's like you don't want the experience to change. You don't want to water it down. One thing that's been important to me is to make sure the gym isn't about me, right? People don't come there for Perry necessarily, right? I want people to be there for what it is as a whole.
You should give yourself a little bit more credit though, because you are a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like you're a big part of the atmosphere. If you have just some a-hole professor that's, you know, more military like in the way that they teach and what they expect, it would change. I think who the coaches and how they teach, the quality of teaching, and their attitude is a very big. You're a very big part of that.
Yeah, but you definitely see, like, you know, if I'm not at the gym, like, there's just as many people at the gym, right? But you'll see some gyms where, like, if their head coach isn't there, just gone. Like, no one's there that day.
There are nights like that though.
Like,
when you're not announcing that you're not going to be in.
Oh yeah.
Classes
like
are significantly
Tuesday
smaller.
or Thursday or something like that.
Yeah. When you announce it, it's, and people know you're not going to be there, whether it's.
And I think that was a bigger thing, like, you know, like 5 or 10 years ago for sure, where it's like, hey, I'm not gonna be here on a Thursday, XYZ's teaching. But now that I have stepped back from teaching so much, and, you know, we have so many of our other black belts and coaches, like, just teaching classes all the time, I do think it's given the opportunity for students to get to know all of the other coaches and get attached to, like, different coaches too.
Yeah, it has.
And, like, here's the deal. Like, I not that I'm incredible at jiu-jitsu, but I like to think I'm decent. But I also think I'm as good as I am because I've trained with so many different coaches, right? Like, I have so much jiu-jitsu that I've pulled from John, obviously, right? But, like, Seth and Luis and Thiago when they were with us, and I go to, like, all these seminars that, to me, it's important that people train with other people, because my jiu-jitsu isn't going to be 100% for you.
Yeah.
Right. You'll pick up some stuff up for me, but, like, you're going to get some stuff from Steve or Dan or, like,
YouTube.
It's important to learn from a lot of other people.
Yep.
So I think that's also part of the culture that I try to create as well. It's like, don't just come to my classes. I can only teach you what I can teach. You have so many other people that can teach way more than me.
You, and I wonder if there was a seminar or something that you did, or even private lessons or something. You have changed in the way you teach over maybe the last, like, 3 or 4 years. We used to be very standard. Like, we're going to work the triangle this week.
Yeah.
We're going to work the arm. And that's how I think a lot of places do teach. Was there something that it feels like there was a moment where we focus a lot more on position, very basic positional stuff that makes a big difference though. Like, we're going to hold somebody down in side control, and these are the things I'm looking for.
I think there's a couple things. One, it's like the growth of the ecological style learning, where it's, you know, you're creating mini situations and putting constraints around it.
Yeah.
It's like, person on top, here's where you start. Here's what your goal. Here's what your finish line looks like. Person on bottom, here's what your starting point is. Here's what your finish line is. And here are the constraints behind it. That has been growing a lot in jiu-jitsu lately. So we've implemented it. It's one of those things, like, you either see a gym do the traditional style learning where it's like, hey, triangle choke, step 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a circle that just goes.
And we're going to tell you exactly how you do it. And then there's the style of teaching where it's like, hey, we're going to put you in a position that's going to gravitate you towards a triangle, but you need to learn how to do it on your own. right? And I think both of those are just tools in the toolbox, and we started to combine those. So I think the growth of that has been big. The other thing that's allowed us to do that is introducing our fundamentals class, because we can take take a lot of the basics. We could take a lot of the fundamentals out of our regular classes and just put them in the fundamentals program.
Yeah. Yep. I didn't even think of that.
Which is, it was a good thing and a bad thing, because now I see a lot of, blue belts, high white belts that weren't around when we had fundamentals, not going to fundamentals. So their fundamentals aren't very good because all they want to do is advanced class. And I'm like, fundamentals class, like, you should be going to it as a blue belt still.
Yeah, it's great.
Like,
yeah,
look at your buddy Diego, right?
Yeah,
Diego's
he still loves the fundamentals,
dude. But like, his technique is so solid.
Yep.
He started with you at Gold Star when you were doing Gold Star. You guys closed, and it took him a little while to come train with us. But you're watching him do fundamental technique, like, he really focuses on doing everything like
perfect,
black belt level.
Yeah.
Right. And I think more people need to approach fundamentals like, I want to do this at a black belt level. That means if I've learned this move 30 times already, on my 31st time, I'm like, what can I do a little bit better?
Yeah, a lot of people don't like drilling, and Diego is like the perfect example of, like, a lot of guys want to roll. I want to get my mat time in, and I want to roll.
Yeah.
Where when other people were rolling at Gold Star, he was always like, can we just drill for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And he would want to aggressively drill the thing. He'd go slow, obviously, at first. And then it would be similar to rolling, but not quite rolling.
Yeah.
Where he would want to do it kind of in real time. Give me resistance.
Pressure test.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Hey, I learned a technique. I want to make sure that my technique works. But I want to be in a situation where I can actually hit it.
Yep.
So that is the part about open rolling, is like, man, if I'm working on De La Hiva and we do open rolling and we start standing or we start in guard, like, what are the chances I'm actually going to get reps at what I'm trying to learn?
Yep.
Right. So again, I think it's important to use that as a tool in the toolbox.
Yeah. It's a recipe for advancing and having a really solid game, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, so back to, like, personal, and this is probably like one of the last things that I have for you. You got a lot of stuff going on, man. No kids, right? But you got your Airbnb now. You're flipping houses. I know you love fishing. You got the wife. Like, how you're still coming to jiu-jitsu? Like, how do you balance? How do you prioritize? How do you fit it all in?
Not having kids,
I say that all the time. Is like,
dude, not having. I have so many friends, and I'm fortunate to know a lot of great parents where their whole world is their kids.
Yeah.
So I appreciate. I always envisioned having kids, but I do appreciate. The reality is I don't have children, so I do appreciate that I do have a lot of time that I can pick,
free time.
I can pick and choose exactly what I want to do, and just making sure that I keep the important things in front, like my wife, and making sure my job is going good, making sure I can make it to class.
Yeah.
All the rest just kind of falls back. If I can get out and go fishing, or do whatever else I like to do, that's great. But as long as I keep my priorities and what I really want to keep in my life in front, and again, children blast all that away because that's priority number one.
Yeah.
So I reflect that a lot. The older I get, I really reflect a lot on how, if I do have the time and this is my situation, I'm really appreciating and trying to make the most out of what I can do.
But you also, like, man, I think some people just figure it out, right? And some couples just figure it out, right? Where, granted, I also don't have kids, right? But, take a look at so many of our members have kids, right? They need to, in the early days, they need to cut back on their training, but they still find a way to make it in, right? Male, female, whatever, I feel like you just kind of figure it out. Granted,
Yeah.
some other hobbies might have to go on the back burner, right? I think like what you said, it's all about priorities. I like playing video games. I like jujitsu, but if I had to pick one, like I know what I'm gonna pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I like running right now. I like jujitsu, but if I have to pick one, I know what to pick.
Yep.
What's your so you said wife is 1, job is 2.
Jiu-jitsu for sure
Yeah, jujitsu's up
is
there.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Does
only
Trina ever tell you you have to go to jujitsu? Like, can you please go to jujitsu today?
no, but she does get it.
Yeah.
Like she knows that I kind of need this. I'll get crankier if I miss a week or
Yeah,
5
yeah.
days or something like that. And I always refer back to like, oh, it's part of my identity and stuff like that. Which is true. It's not just something I tell myself, but I'm making sure that it does stay part of. Like if I'm not going to have kids and have this whole other branch of my life, I have to make sure that I'm not just, you know, not to be like blunt, but like being a loser, so
Yeah.
to speak, and just wasting my time away. Which I look at. I do have a lot of friends from high school that I have a small group that I do keep in touch with, and a lot of them do have children and they're great parents. And there's a good amount that don't have kids.
Yeah.
And I just watch the years go by where nothing changes, except maybe their health, and
Yeah.
you can see it.
But look at like Neil. Neil, like his wife brings the 2 little girls to watch him train at the gym for like a half hour some nights.
I'm jealous of that sometimes, for
Oh,
sure.
me too.
You,
I also like when they yell "Go Perry."
or they cheer dad, 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 dad.
Yeah, yeah.
And not just that, but he's got his dad comes in
Yeah.
and sits and watches. And man, I'm jealous of that too. I Speaking of Neil, I think they're having like multi-generational black belts of judo and grappling in their family is like one of the coolest things.
Yeah, it's sweet.
If I were to have kids, I would want it to line up that way.
Especially making it in a way where like your kids want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like Neil got his black belt when he was 18 and was like, all right, now I'm an adult. I'm done. Right. Like still there.
A lot.
Even with like being deployed to Kuwait and like all this stuff, going to dental school, he's still showing up.
Yeah.
Should get him on. I'll get him on the podcast.
And I think with saying how a lot of things are like part of my identity or your identity, that's part of like their family's identity. Is like,
that's what we do.
You don't really have a choice in it when you're young. You're going to get into judo.
Yeah.
You're going to learn how to defend yourself and throw people. You're going to learn the discipline. You're going to learn what your body is capable of. And I think if they wanted to drop out, like if Neil didn't want to do it after he became an adult, I'm sure his grandparents or his grandpa and his dad would be okay with it. But it's still, by that point, it's a core part of your family.
Yeah.
And kind of like your shtick for your family.
It's just so interesting though, because like, how many parents put their kids in soccer because they were really good at soccer and the kids get burnt out from soccer. So like, I want to know, what was the magic like sprinkle or spice that they did that prevented that burnout and like desire to like, I'm not going to do this. Like they want to do it.
Yeah.
Like the culture.
Yeah.
That they
it's
have.
so cool. Yeah. Having like a
Jealous.
martial art lineage family like that,
Sweet.
and we look at the Gracies in jiu-jitsu and obviously they have that. So it kind of mirrors that really well.
I don't think the Gracies had a choice.
No, I don't think they did either. I don't think in the Neil family and the Rosenberg family, I don't think for a certain amount of years they might have a choice either. This is something that you're going to at least get efficient at where you have it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You can always go back to it if you need it. But after a certain point, I wonder what that is. I'd be really interested to know like what keeps, like you said, after I think he's at Army right now. I think or at least last week, I think he was. But yeah, going through dental school. I think he had his own practice for a while too.
Still does.
Yeah. And it's like, there's got to be something else there that, whether it's identity or just the love for it.
I want to be able to do that. If and when I do have the opportunity to have children, I want to figure that out.
Yeah. I think making them go, but not being so aggressive about things.
I don't know. Look at like Paul's done it. Steve, I think we have so many dads that have done it. Paul's done it.
Yeah.
Steve has done it.
Oh, she's
Like,
killing it too.
I know.
Absolutely killing it.
They were on the podcast. It was a great podcast with them.
I enjoyed it.
Steve and Audrey.
Steve's origin story, every time I hear him talk about that, it's so similar to mine. And I wonder a lot what percentage of people have that exact same. Like, I was bored. I was in my middle age.
Yeah.
Getting close to my middle age.
Need something to do.
And you don't want to sit in a gym and just work out. So I got into this, and it's like, I wonder how many.
I'll tell you, it is 90% of people.
Yeah. I could see that. Every time I hear Steve talk about it, I enjoy hearing it because it's so similar to mine.
Yeah. Because I sit down with every new member we have, and I'm like, hey, what got you interested in jiu-jitsu? Why now? It's because, like, I'm bored. I need a new community. I feel like I'm stagnant at home. I just sit at home, and, you know, the only friends I have are from work. The gym's getting boring, and when I do go to the gym, I don't meet anyone. It's just like, I just want.
So it is like, yeah. It's
Like I heard about
90%.
this on Joe Rogan, Jocko Willink. I watched the UFC. I used to wrestle, like, XYZ, like, in that little nudge in the direction, but that's what it is.
Yeah. I'm grateful it became what it is, for sure.
What else you got, man?
I was going to ask you, my phone's over there, but it's fine. I had a couple of them written down. So I talked a second about, like, my retirement kind of fantasy is to own a little. Where do you see
Jimmy's fantasies?
Where do you see yourself at, like, late 50s, 60 years old?
Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord.
I mean, does owning a dojo still?
Yeah. I mean, I'll still own a gym, hopefully more than one. Still teaching. I've always wondered, like, man, what happens when I kick it? Like, what if I got hit by a bus right now? What would happen to the gym?
Yeah, not to be like a downer, but with the, with the passing of Rufus, with Duke Rufus, I think you're gonna kind of see a little bit of that over the next, like, couple of years.
Well,
what is gonna happen?
But, like,
because
Duke,
he spent a lot of time building that.
That's
world
true,
up.
but Duke at least has a business partner that, like, does all the operations.
That's been there the whole time.
Yeah,
too.
and, like, manages the books and stuff like that. Like, I probably got to figure this out. Like, if I got hit by a bus,
what would happen?
Who knows where my checking account is?
Yeah,
for the gym, right? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, you know, and then even when I get to the point where it's like, man, I can't teach, I can't do the gym thing anymore, like, true retirement, like, what's a succession plan?
Yeah, what does the picture look like?
Right? Who's gonna take it over?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
And especially because I don't have any kids, right? It's not like I have an 18-year-old that's, like, loving jiu-jitsu right now where the choice is obvious. Granted, that's also really far away.
Yeah. I think you got plenty of time, though.
It's funny, though, right? Like, right now, most jiu-jitsu gym owners are, like, 40, 50. And 50's young, right? I remember when I was 20, like, 50-year-old, holy cow.
Yeah.
Now I see a 50-year-old, I'm like, they're whooping my butt still. I'm like, okay. But, like, you're going to see gym owners that are going to be, you know, not starting gyms when you're 18, 19, even 30 anymore.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting. What, like, all these gyms do, all these small businesses. But yeah, still 50, still teaching.
The other thing that kind of ties into that is when you and Luke started, did you ever imagine that you'd grow into this?
Hell no.
Okay, so that's perfect. So if not, I had a follow-up, which was, when was, like, the moment where you were like, you finally had, like, this bigger vision where you're like, you know what, not only do I think this is what I want, but I'm pretty sure I can pull this off. And, you know, I thinking about that, I thought about that question. And one of the things I do remember when we kind of started branching off to, like, being a legitimate, we're not a drinking club that does jiu-jitsu anymore. We're a jiu-jitsu club, and that's our main, is when I remember a shift when you got somebody working the front desk.
Oh yeah. Illy.
Yeah. Or either that or it was Talon too, sitting up there.
Yeah, Kim Talon.
Oh yeah, Kim. So, like, since you did say no, when was there a moment where you were like, I think I can effing do this thing?
Yes. So, I mean, when we started the gym and I was in college, like I was young and dumb. And when Luke and I were like, hey, let's start a club up in Grafton. And he's like, I got a spot at Form of Fitness where I teach. And I was like, I got extra college loan money so I could buy mats. You don't think like, oh, I'm starting a business. And when you have a business, it's like having a kid and you might have it forever unless you put it up for adoption. Right? Like you just don't think about that. Like when you open Gold Star, you weren't like, what am I going to do with it if I need to close?
Yeah.
Right? Like where are these people going to train? But like it ended up growing where I was like, even if I enter, I've never entertained closing. Even if I were to close, like where all these people go train.
Yeah.
Like, but when Luke left, and I think there was a challenge because I think Luke always wanted it to be more. And I don't think I shared that vision with him. I think he cared a lot more about it. And we never talked about it, right? I never asked, which I feel bad about, but it is what it is. But when he left to take a job out in Boston and he left me his half of the gym, I had to come to Jesus as I was like doing all of it, where it's like, okay, cool. I went from a 50-50 owner where I had 50% of the risk to 100% owner, where now I have 100% of the decisions, but I also have 100% of the risk.
Yep.
And being a club that was like just making enough money to keep the doors open, if we didn't make enough money one month and I needed to float it, I'm floating 100% of it. Yep. Right? Where I was like, okay, I was also starting to get older. I was like, my day job cannot pay for everyone else's hobby.
COVID would have that would have been the end of it.
COVID would have been the end of it.
Yeah, that would have for sure. At the old dojo, that would have been the end of it.
Yeah. So when Luke left, I made a decision and I was like, okay, I need to do something. So I got like a Facebook ad or something, and I got a business coach, and he's like, Tim Crater. Do you remember Tim Crater from the UFC? Crazy Tim Crater. Tim, shout out to you. Gym wouldn't be what it is today without all the shit you gave me when I first did. He gave me everything. He's like, you suck at sales. Here's Jordan Belfort's sales program. I'll practice sales with you. He didn't even actually tell me I sucked at sales. He's like, are you good at sales? And I was like,
you are not.
I was like, I don't know. He's like, what percentage sales are you closing? People come in for a trial and you go to close them. What percentage? I was like, I don't know. He's like, then you suck at sales.
Yeah.
So he's like, he got me on sales, and he's like, you also need to run ads to get people in the door. And I was like, okay, I'll run ads. I remember the first, we were running our kids program. We were doing 6-week kids trials, 6 weeks, including a gi, try out our program. It was working really, really well back then. And I ran my first ad over 4th of July weekend. I don't remember what year it was, but I remember sitting at my grandma's house and that ad launched. Guess how many people signed up for it in one weekend?
I'll say 20.
It's like 60 to 80.
Oh my!
Kids signed up in one 4th of July weekend for our 6-week program. We could only start one kid a day. It also came with a uniform. You think I had 60 to 80?
Yeah. So
I didn't have a spot to put 60 to 80 uniforms in our gym.
Yeah.
So I was like sitting, I was like, this is so cool. Then I was like, how the hell am I going to do this? And I was like, this can be a thing.
Yep.
Right. So
you have a big choice. Is this a mistake, or am I going to take advantage of this and
100%
and do it? Yeah.
Yeah. So we did it. It paid off. We got a bunch of members from it. I kept saying in the martial arts coaching, I went to martial arts coaching conference and I met Michael Burnoff. And you went to a Michael Burnoff conference with me.
Sure did.
He at the martial arts conference, he taught a bunch of like communication tricks on like, hey, how do you help understand why someone's quitting? How do you sell better by understanding what they want out of the program and framing your product correctly? And I was like, this guy's got cool shit. I like the little tricks that he did. So he was selling like his little audiobooks, like pre-recorded audiobooks for like $500. I was like, okay, I'll buy it. I bought his audiobooks, and 2 weeks later they call me and they're like, hey, thanks for buying Michael's audiobooks. You also got a live class with him to a course that's called Call to Action, to help people become action takers and go get what they want. And I was like, well, I liked his other stuff. They're like, we run it every month. It starts on Monday. I was like, I'm in. And it was like on the phone for 5 hours a day for like 3 or 4 days straight, just sitting on a phone, not even a Zoom,
I remember call to action.
on a phone. And part of call to action was like, what's the one thing that you know you need to do, but you're not doing it? Like it could be cleaning off your desk, or what's one skill that you need to pick up. So I did 2 things out of call to action. One, I joined Toastmasters because I was like, oh, I am a public speaker. I teach jiu-jitsu class all the time.
Yep.
I should probably get better at speaking. Number 2 was I need to hire a front desk person. So I hired a front desk person. I put out an ad, and that got me to do those 2 things. And those 2 things unlocked another huge thing of growth.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kept that rhythm. Like I got the business coaching, I got the personal coaching. Michael got me the ability to ask for help, to be like, hey, I need someone to help me run this.
Yep.
And then I went to his next conference, which was Core. Well, I got good at asking for help. You know what I wasn't good at? Letting people help me.
It's tough.
Right?
It's really tough.
So that was, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're like a do-it-yourself kind of guy, and it's hard to let go of stuff. Look at how many jiu-jitsu coaches that like they need to teach all the classes because they need the control.
Yep.
So that finally helped me understand that I need to work on letting people help me. Look how many coaches we have now. Look how many team members we have now. Like I've coached, we've had our fundamentals program for like 2 years now. I coached like the first month of it. That's it.
Yep.
Those guys crush it. They're way better fundamental coaches than I will ever be. So like that's how it grew. I didn't have really any intent from day one, but reflecting, being like, hey, all these people come here on their worst of worst days to have a good experience. Knowing how much training impacts people, knowing how much becoming a coach impacts people, that's what makes me want to make it bigger. I started with like, how can I introduce jiu-jitsu to so many more people?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, how do I create more jiu-jitsu coaches?
That's awesome.
Because every coach can, like, let's say every coach can impact 200 people, right? If I focus on the people, or should I focus on the coaches? So I focus on the coaches.
That's awesome.
And then the people come.
That's really cool.
But I needed a lot of help.
And it didn't happen overnight either. Like
No.
you have to be ready to.
No, but it did skyrocket. Like if I look at like our growth, like I think it was like 2017. It was like this 2017.
Just a spike. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just it became growth driven, but like it all came from growing myself. And if I didn't work on myself first, I wouldn't be where I was.
I've studied a lot of the things that you've done. I think you've done a lot of things the right way. And I've tried to take as many mental notes as possible because, like you said, just having enough people and the atmosphere that is fun, but you're just surviving to the next paycheck, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
you learn a lot of life lessons doing jiu-jitsu, and you surround yourself with a lot of good people.
Yep, you do.
Anything else, my friend?
No, I don't think so.
When are you gonna start teaching jiu-jitsu again?
I honestly, I really do want to teach kids again. I think that was like one of the most fulfilling things, having the teens. Speaking of that, Ty, he graduates from police academy in February.
That's cool.
Seeing those guys grow up from like actual children to now, he's a dad and he's about to become a law enforcement officer. I definitely want to get into, I just want to make sure that I know a lot of times people wait for the right time and that right time never does come.
Never.
What that saying is absolutely true. But I do just want to make sure that I'm not just jumping back into it because I told myself I would.
Yeah, you want to make a commitment.
Yeah,
right?
I do want to make sure that I'm fully ready to commit to it where I have no plans on what comes after that. This is going to be it for a while.
Yeah.
For the same reason, I might not be the gym owner, but those kids really get attached to you,
Yeah.
and you're making part of the experience for them. And I remember having coaches that left when I was younger, and it's kind of devastating when you're like 10 years old, where your favorite guy outside of the family is no longer there to like pat you on the back and teach you something cool.
Yeah.
So it is going to be soon, but I 100% know that I'm going to be teaching kids again sometime soon.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. We haven't talked in a while. I really appreciate. I always
I
love
know.
talking with you and John. And
Yeah,
you can have John back on anytime soon.
I'm sure.
His podcasts are the best.
I know.
I love
good.
the old school stories.
He's good. Cool, man.
Thank you very much, Barry.
Stay warm.
You too.
All right.